Hello, 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 everyone. This is your host Zed, and welcome to episode 9 of the All Gunners podcast. I wouldn't be doing the All Gunners podcast without my co host, so before I even break down what the episode's going to be, I have to give a shout out to the man, the myth, the legend, my friend Harry.
Don't
How
even
are you, my
do
friend?
that, Zed. Don't even do that. That is some that. I mean, you need to be presenting that every week if you're gonna do me like that. That's brilliant. I love it. I'm good though. Thank you, mate. Thank you. Yeah. It's a pleasure to be here as always. Yeah, but I'm good. How are you?
I'm all right, man. I'm all right. I'm coming back to hosting, so I'm like, oh, I have to gas him up. He did a very good job last week.
You
So
can do that every week. I do not mind.
no. We're gonna keep the way going. People are gonna get bored of me talking and hosting all the time, so keep it a bit fresh. But
It's nice to
listen, man.
switch it up. Yeah.
Yeah, nice to switch it up. Listen, we've got a big episode to talk about. We're recording a bit later
Oh,
than
definitely.
usual, obviously. Yeah, we usually record on a Sunday, but it's come to Monday afternoon because of busy
We
schedules
had a
and
football
generally
tournament that
life
we
getting in the
both
way.
attended. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
less we talk about
exactly.
our performances, the better, I think. Yeah,
Yeah, no, we
I
won't
was
talk
no
about our
Gabriel
personal
Allen.
performances on that football pitch. No, definitely not.
No,
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 but
no, no.
that's why we couldn't
Yeah,
record
absolutely.
yesterday.
I just want to say I'm less of a Gabriel and more of a what's the best player? What's the worst player?
Bench
More of a
warmer.
Mustafi. Mustafi. I think more of a Mustafi at his
That's in.
Arsenal
That's bad. That's bad.
thing. That's how bad I was, to be
And
fair.
let's
Since
not
at the
even
back.
go there with my performance. Let's not do it. Let's not do
Oh,
it.
mate, I thought you were for Gabby Martinelli. Doing
Well,
over players.
first time back after about 8 or 9 months after an injury, and obviously I was rusty is not the word, but if there was something past rust, then that was me. Everything but the finish.
Yeah. No, it was a fun tournament. I
It was
think
fun tournament.
it was good to play after a long time.
It was beautiful.
But let's get on to the main topics. Yeah, we've got
Let's
a
do it.
big episode. Arsenal's had a big week. Two
Well, we've
important
got two
games.
games to feature, haven't we, this week
I
on
know.
this pod? Because obviously we've had that new packed kind of because we went through
Packed
a
schedule.
period, didn't we, where we were waiting for Arsenal to play after every
Up to
days almost.
9, 10 days.
And then
Yeah, it was.
there's or there's certainly two fixtures in the space of a few days. So,
Yeah, well, it's 3 games over. I think
mm.
8 or 9 days.
So was
Yeah,
that there's Leicester, there was Liverpool, and there was
and Aston Villa at the
Aston
end.
Villa. Yes,
Yeah,
correct.
so
So three games. Yeah.
all three tough big games for us as well. But
Yeah.
we'll talk about the games that we didn't cover. So I think we covered Leicester in the last game anyway, or the last podcast. We covered the last game in the last podcast. So everyone go check out episode 8. Where we break down Leicester and we make some, assumptions on what we're going to do against Liverpool. I don't think any of us was right though, but
No. We
but
were hoping, weren't we? We were hoping.
yeah, we were hoping. But anyway, we're going to talk about the games today. We're going to talk about. We're going to start off with Arsenal v Liverpool, then go into our Aston Villa v Arsenal away game, and we're going to talk about the performance of the players, the goals, and we're going to round it all up with the togetherness of the group and the celebrations. I'm loving these celebrations, by the way. I don't care what people say, but we'll come to that. I'm still loving it.
Oh,
But listen, mate, let's get on to our first game, the big game, yeah? Arsenal v Liverpool. Give me your thoughts. Give the people your thoughts. What did you think?
yeah. I was probably more nervous than I have been in a very long time. I was getting kind of Man City vibes to start with on that game. I thought, you know what?
Ooh.
If we took them out, we're at home. We should be able to take these guys out as well. And we didn't take City out, but you know what I mean, metaphorically
Yeah, yeah,
speaking.
yeah, yeah.
So performance
Performance
wise.
wise, yeah, it was definitely a good performance. Yeah.
And I think with the run that we'd been on, obviously we discussed a lot of that in the last episode. Is it's fair to say that I was actually nervous but silently confident, and the way the game started, Zed, I have to say, I was really impressed. And one
Hmm.
thing is about, I mean, Gary Neville was the commentator, wasn't he, for that
Commentator, yeah.
game? And you generally find him on the bigger games, and he generally quite honest with what he sees. And when he regularly was saying midway through the first half, Mikel Arteta will be um, the happiest of the
Happier
two
of two
managers.
managers,
Yeah,
yeah.
I was actually in agreement with him. I was believing we were taking the game. Although not with in terms of stats, in terms of shots on target, we certainly were not. Everybody talked about this game of
Yeah.
Liverpool will have the ball. You'll have to get the ball off Liverpool. Well, it was
Yeah.
kind of the opposite, really. I think there was that great chance for them off the corner, the headed
The header
chance.
from Van Dijk, yeah.
Van Dijk, yeah, that didn't happen. I have to also say, I forget that what made me really nervous at the beginning of the game. No, actually, that's a mistake. I was actually talking about the Villa game. Actually, we'll come on to that.
Two games
I was going to
mess
talk
with your
about,
head.
yeah. Well, this is it. They've conflicted, but no. What actually, as I say, I was silently confident as the game went on.
Hmm.
Um, but look, Zed, this is why Liverpool are one of the best teams in Europe,
In Europe,
potentially
mate, easily, yeah.
potentially one of the best teams in the world. Is they have a habit to get results even when they don't have the share of the ball and they don't have a lot of the play. They capitalised on two significant errors. I can't blame the kid certainly for the second goal.
Hmm.
Saka should have just put that into Rose Ed, really, because I think
Yeah.
at 1-0, I think I think we stay in the game at 1-0.
Yeah.
We're at
Yeah.
home, the crowd behind us. I think as soon as that second goal goes in, it's Liverpool, isn't it? We're
Yeah.
not going to
Yeah.
win. But look, overall, Zed, proud of the boys again.
Hmm.
They didn't roll over. They didn't do a usual Arsenal that we're accustomed to seeing, or certainly right at the beginning of the season, where what was it? City was 5-0.
5-0, yeah.
We're seeing a different. This is a different Arsenal, which we'll come on to when we start this because of Villa game. But
Hmm.
yeah, I was proud of the boys. It wasn't one of those. I was sad actually. I was sad because I actually felt we could have got something from the game,
Hmm.
beat with that. But then we found out, didn't we, with the Ramsdale injury? We was probably
Yeah. Yeah.
carrying an injury, wasn't he, through that time? So fair
Yeah.
play to the boys.
Could be. I think, as I said, I can't really fault Ramsdale. He's been absolutely bloody
Oh, he's got
brilliant.
so
This,
much credit,
yeah, he's
hasn't
got
he, in the
so
bank?
much.
Yeah.
It's too much, too much. I think, but I think from a purist football kind of point of view, it's that quality from Jota and the pace on the ball. Ramsdale gets the hand to it, but it's not strong enough
Yeah.
to just kick it out. Obviously, you shouldn't be beaten at your front post, but he made a classic save. What we can call Ramsdale save now, essentially from Van Dijk's header, which is a bullet header into the corner. He reacts very good. So you know overall, I think he had a decent game. I wouldn't say he was that top form, but that goal puts Liverpool in a bit more control, as you say. It gives the momentum. It shifts the momentum a
I
bit more.
think what also affected things is that just before that game, the credentials of that game changed because of the City
City
result,
draw, yeah, yeah, yeah.
and the fact that City dropped points, kind
Liverpool
of,
more fired up for it.
yeah.
They knew this was their
And
chance.
if
You
there's
see,
anybody that can fire up a team,
there's Jurgen Klopp,
it's
innit?
Jurgen Klopp, and we don't need to. We could do a whole pod on him, couldn't we? Really, let's be honest.
Say
Yeah.
what you want, yeah. Say what you want about Liverpool, but Jurgen Klopp as a manager, I just love him, man. I think he brings quality to the Premier League, and he brings standards. His passion. Look, I'm not a Liverpool supporter. I am okay with Liverpool. I don't hate them, right? They're okay. But Jurgen Klopp as a manager, as we've discussed in previous pods, I've been a big Dortmund fan for a long time, right?
Mm,
So Jurgen Klopp for me, I still see that image of Dorman, him running down and just he's just a character. He is.
yeah.
But yeah, as you said, we can do a whole pod on him. But yeah, he fired
You'd
his boys
imagine,
up.
wouldn't you, Zed, that he would have said, "Right, this is your chance now, guys,
Yeah,
to get back into the league, and if we win here, we win the league."
league.
You can just hear it, can't you? And
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and as I say, after that 45 minutes, you're thinking, "Gosh, his plan hasn't really gone to plan." But Liverpool are Liverpool, aren't they?
Yeah, exactly. I think it's the quality in the final third. I think that was the difference. I think we had the game. Defensively, we were good. Midfield was very good from Party and Shaka. I think what let us down was the quality in the final third. I think if we have a top striker, and by no means for everyone listening do I mean Aubameyang, he couldn't hit a door when he was at
when he
Arsenal
was
last.
here. Yeah,
Okay, yeah, he may be doing great, but he couldn't hit anything when he was here, right? Towards the end, still gas him up for what he did before though. But
yeah.
if we, I see the difference in the game being if Arsenal have that quality number 9 up front, who is more of a goal scorer than a creator, which Lacazette is
Well, we
right
had that
now.
one chance, didn't we, Zed? And I want to get your views on this. Do you
Yeah,
think
yeah.
he could have rounded the keeper, or was he right to give it to
I
Odegaard?
think Lacazette is in a different frame of mind right now. Go back, I think 2 years or 3 years when we draw 1-1 with Liverpool on this ground, and Laka rounds Allison and scores, puts in. Do you remember that?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
so I,
Can't
I
forget that.
expect can't forget that. So I expected something different, but to be fair to Lacazette, Allison closed it very, very quickly. There was no chance there,
I
to
think
be
it was a
honest.
world class save from Alisson
Oh,
myself.
it
I
was.
mean,
It wasn't just the save though. It was the movement before it. He knew that Thiago messed up. Lacazette gets the ball, but by the time Lacazette even shifts his balance to get into a position to look at goal, Alisson's already made himself big, closed the distance, so there isn't much of a chance. And at the same time, what you call Van Dyke and what's the other guy's name? Forgetting now. Matip, yeah,
Matip.
Joe Matip, yeah, they were already on the line blocking, and he does the right thing. To be honest, from my point of view, he does the right thing. The angle isn't there. Alisson's already
I don't
blocking
think the
it.
angle was there for the
No,
shot.
no, it
No.
wasn't. So he does the right thing,
So
puts
you
it to
can't
Odegaard.
blame him for that, but I
No,
think I think if that's look, I mean, I think when you think about Odegaard's shot, he kind of tried to place it, didn't he? And
I think he's tried to boot at it. To be fair, I think because he thinks if he puts enough power on it, no one reacts quick enough. If he places it, he puts in top bins. No one's getting to it, right? I think it's more that he's trying to put his foot through it because it's straight at Allison reacts and it's straight at where he's
yeah,
trying to
I'll have to
shoot.
look at that angle again, that replay, because I thought he was trying to place it. Zed, to be honest, I
Well,
don't.
to be
Yeah.
fair, it's the way Odegaard moves his foot and his body. To be fair, it always looks like he's placing it.
Because if he's putting his foot through that, then surely it's flapping past Alisson's hand, isn't it? Really, it's
Well,
certainly.
that's why it's a world class save, isn't it? It comes off his
Mm,
arm. It's not his hand. He
mm.
just makes an instinctive
And
movement, and
again, that's the difference, isn't it? I mean, you've got
yeah,
a
exactly.
keeper. I mean, you can't necessarily call Ramsdale world class just yet, but
No, no.
Alisson you
Allison
can, can't
is,
you?
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. He
yeah.
absolutely is, right? He is worlds apart. And then
If
you
you think
got,
about it, it was a tale of two keeping sort of saves, wasn't it? Really, or
I,
a lack of
I,
ability to save.
I think it's more lack of experience than it is ability. I think Ramsdale has the ability to be where Allison is. He's
Yeah,
certainly shown that, and he has a mentality to be there as well. He's shown that as well. I think the issue is more experience. You can't forget that. Ramsdale's 23 years old. He's quite young. What you call keeper. Allison
yeah,
isn't exactly 35 or something. I think he's still in his late 20s, to be fair. But it's more experience. He's had higher, tougher game experience, knockout games in the Champions League, finals in the Champions League. It's that experience that makes the difference
absolutely.
between a good keeper and a world class keeper. But
Yeah, yeah,
again, I think it's for me the game is lacking from Arsenal's point of view, is lacking that killer edge
yeah.
in the final third to be able to create something definitive and what you call put it away. I mean, just look at that run that Martinelli makes where he nutmegs Hendo, and just he had Trent on toast, right?
Yeah, Zed Martinelli was immense. He is literally our big game player now.
Mm,
It used to be Aubameyang, who we've already covered many times over, that can't hit the barn door while he was here. Martinelli is our guy. He's our big game player, and he had Trent. Oh my God, on toast.
on toast, mate. It was just it's. Trent did not know what to do with him, and I like Trent, right? His delivery and
Oh, brilliant player.
yeah, what he brings to the Liverpool team from creativity point of view is immense. But he could not deal with Martinelli, the trickery to get past. I just remember that passage of play where he does over Trent twice, then he nutmegs Henderson,
Yeah.
and if he picks the right pass there, right, and that ball
1-0.
goes in, that is 1-0. And you know what? That's probably the best goal, and that could shift the game in Arsenal's direction.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, you're right. At home, that goes in. Liverpool have chasing the game. We've been able to show that we can see out games at 1-0. It's a
Exactly.
different
1-0
game,
to
isn't
the
it?
Arsenal, as we say.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. But it wasn't meant to be, was it, Zed? It wasn't meant to be.
No, no, no. I think it's just that the difference for me, as I said, was the quality in the final third with Jota, with Salah, Mane, Firmino as well coming in. It's just
What
Liverpool's
was
got too much quality up
interesting,
front.
absolutely, what was interesting for me is that Jota just scores that goal at the same time as Klopp is preparing the substitutes to come on. Firmino
Yeah,
to come on, Salah. I think it. I think it was just those two, wasn't it? And
yeah,
um,
yeah.
and you'd have thought if that's any other manager in the world, they leave their scorer on, don't they? Because actually, it's like working, and why change it? But no, he. This is why he's a world class manager, and not just in the soft factors, but
Mm,
he brought on Firmino, who one
Another
chance, one
goal.
goal. It's
Yeah,
it's it's it's
exactly.
it's, it's and that's Liverpool for you. When where they needed to be in the right place, at the right time, they were. When
Yep,
Arsenal needed to be in the right place, right time, unfortunately they weren't. And
we
it's
were.
a game of fine margins, isn't it? But
Exactly,
that's the
exactly.
way it is.
At that level, when you're challenging for the league, when you're trying to win something, right? That is what the difference is. I think it's the fine margins, it's the little things that are game
And
changing.
he'd have been worried. Don't get me wrong, because I know you're going to come on to talking about the gap between us and them.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't think he's dishonest, because he was talking about. I don't think that he would have been preparing his team to say we'll steamroll these guys as we usually do, right?
Hmm.
And maybe a lot of their fan base was expecting that, or maybe thinking that. I think we all knew that from where Arsenal were and where they are now, how far they've come, he would have been a little bit worried, because these points were probably the most three important points maybe in the last few games for Liverpool,
Hmm.
because it's again City dropping points. It was
Yep.
capitalising, and it's away at Arsenal, who are now really the informed team other
Informed
than
team, yeah.
themselves. So to say that he wouldn't have been worried is probably dishonest. I think he would have been worried, and after that first 45 minutes, I think that's when he's thought, do you know what? I'm going to bring him up. And that chap, the new player that they've got, remind me of his
Diaz,
name,
Luis
Diaz.
Diaz. Yeah.
He didn't touch the ball, did he? Really, didn't get a kick.
No, no, no. Our defense was good. I think Cedric did a good job. I think Tierney did a good job. As always, we've come to expect that of our defense. So,
Yeah,
I mean, just to close out on this game, because we've got another game to break down as well now, it's what do you think, as you alluded to it, what do you think is the gap between us and that top world class, absolute world beating team, which is what Liverpool at this moment and Man City are?
Look, I think you touched on it, Zed. Really, it's experience. These
Hmm.
players have been in Champions League finals. They've won a league title. They've been and won the Champions League. They know what it's like at the pressure. I mean, just as you've asked that question, rings of. Do you remember when they beat Barcelona?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And that corner that Trent took, they've just
Yeah,
got the
yeah.
smartness, haven't they? They've just got that experience. And when you have a group of players that have been together for so long, and
Hmm.
not just the group, the recruitment has been spot on.
Spot
They're
on,
planning
absolutely.
years ahead when it comes to their. So if you look at this Diaz that we've just mentioned a few minutes ago,
Mm.
it doesn't really matter what happens with Salah. If I mean, it probably does, but I'm saying in the
Well, it
long
does. It
term,
does.
it does. It does in the short term, but in the long term, they will replace a world class player with another world class player in the long
Yeah,
term,
yeah.
right?
In the long
And,
term,
and,
yeah.
and, 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 and and even then, if you look at the business they did with Jota, remind me, he was 25 million, if 30 million
Was
max.
Jota?
Jota.
Diego Jota. I think it's
Yeah,
40 million.
I don't know if it was that much, but okay, a bargain still because
But yeah, yeah. At an
he
age, I think it was 23 that they bought it for from Wolves, and yeah, I think it's 40 mil.
the goals that he is scoring are now so important. But anyway, in answer back to your question, is they, I would say, are more distant from us than our league position at this moment is suggesting. I would say if they were number one, we're probably sixth in
Yeah,
difference. I would say at this moment
yeah.
in time, and I'm not saying that we can't get there. I think we've discussed this in previous pods, and we'll discuss this issue again, no doubt, more in the future. But if this group of players, I'm talking about Arsenal now, if this group of players stay together and start chipping away with the trophies,
Hmm.
let's say next season this group of players win a cup, you know,
Yeah,
and they know what it feels like to just pass the line. There is no reason why. Oh, boy, and the recruitment as well. Sorry, that's a
yeah.
major
That's
area. I mean,
that's the major point.
we
Yeah,
we 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 we're a good two or three. I mean, talking about a world class striker and maybe a world class midfielder away, recruitment is a massive area, and we could do a pod on that alone. But I'm
yeah.
saying if we continue his trajectory, because let's not forget that not success doesn't last forever for everyone. And people often say, don't they? Well, you're only in fourth at the moment because Man United are doing so shit,
Mm.
and Tottenham aren't really at the races. Well, then on the same token, that Liverpool will only win the league because Man City slipped up. Well, that's clearly how league positions work, isn't it? Really, is that someone has to slip for someone to take advantage. So
Well, that's the game.
well, exactly. And the point here is what I'm trying to make is that we can take advantage of decline in the future
Yes, of
from
course.
other teams. So there'll be a natural progression if Klopp ever leaves, which I think he will leave Man City one day. Um, Look, we've got two of the world's best managers managing in our league at the moment, Zed, right?
Yes, of course.
They're
Yeah.
not going to be there forever. Arteta's learning, and he probably will be. That's probably some of our listeners might shoot me for saying this, but he's got the beginnings, let's say, of being a very, very, very good class manager.
Hmm.
World class, still a way off.
No, 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 not quite world
Still a
class
way
yet.
off. Still a way off. However, if he continues to make the necessary improvements with this team, there's going to be a lot of teams after him. But anyway, I don't think we're a million miles away, but I think we're probably between one and six away from them.
Hmm. No, no, fair point. I think I agree with you. I think recruitment and keeping this core team together is the most important thing. Getting them experience, getting them playing as they are right now, adding one or two key players with good recruitment will be the difference. So this summer is very, very big for Arsenal. And if Arsenal do get Champions League, it allows them to attract that better quality of player to improve
Definitely.
this team and take it to the next level. But all right, man, let's take our podcast to the next level as well.
Let's do it.
Into the segue. Game number two, Aston Villa versus Arsenal. Away game from Arsenal, bouncing back from a loss. I say the biggest 6 pointer for Arsenal in recent time. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Zed, as we talked about this in person and offline, is that I'd said to you I was worried about this game, and I was worried
Yeah.
because history shows with Arsenal, certainly with this squad, is that we generally don't bounce back very well from a loss.
No, no. Soft centre, as they call it.
Yeah. So there was the draw following the Man City loss, wasn't there, as well?
Yes, because Burnley.
And I think actually the performance against City, they should have took so much confidence from it. But look, they're only human at the end of the day. They're professional footballers. But so the reaction, and I was worried about this because Villa are no mugs either. Villa are a
No,
very,
no,
very
no.
good team.
They're a good team. Good team.
Gerrard is getting a tune out of them, and they're certainly very good at home. And didn't they beat Southampton 4-0
Yes, they did. I think they
in a
schooled them.
previous game? So I was worried. I'm not going to lie, I was worried about this game. But I had a sneaky feeling, that at 0-0 at halftime, and I didn't, neither did you, because we were both at that football tournament. So
Yeah, exactly.
we weren't watching the match, but we were keeping tabs. And I just had a feeling that actually, um, 0-0 at halftime, we could nick this,
Hmm.
and nick it we did. And I have to say that, gosh, you chip away mentally. It's not the fact that it's the result. It's we lost at when Liverpool came to us. We won and we bounced back. And you can see. I mean, I want to talk about Bukayo Saka as well,
Hmm.
if you allow me
Yeah,
to, Zed.
yeah. We'll come to Saka and his performance. Just a point of correction. I think we went in 1-0 at half time and
Yes,
saw out the game at that as well. So 30th minute, that goal, instinctive goal, I'm gonna
it
say,
was not
from
nil. See,
Saka.
you can tell I didn't watch the game then. So it was nil. It wasn't 0-0 at half time then.
No, no.
No,
1-0 to Arsenal,
1-0.
with
Yeah,
Saka scoring a 30th minute.
yeah. So to see out the game as we did, because when you're away at a team like Villa, there's always going to be a passage of the game where the team at home is going to have a good set of possession, time, and chances. I think we generally, from what I see from the highlights, we kept them out all the way through. There was the usual Rob Holding 5-2, 5-2-3, 6, 7, 8, yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
that kind of five at the
The
back
back,
anyway.
yeah, the back three central defenders with Rob Holding, Ben White, and
Yeah,
Gabriel.
so Rob
Yeah.
Holding come on and made it five at the back. But that save from Leno, and I have to say, and this is what I was getting confused about with the other game earlier, is that the other worries that I had with the game was the fact that Martinelli was injured after
Hmm.
he was on fire in the last game against Liverpool, and Ramsdale, arguably our player of the season, was also
Yep.
injured. So props up to Leno, because we know Leno's not happy at the moment being displaced by Ramsdale, and he shouldn't be happy because he was number one, and that's what professional footballers do. They want to play.
Yep.
Um, and he came in. He was class.
Yeah, he had a
He
good
came in
game. I
and he
think
had a
he
good game.
hasn't
Kept
played
a
for about
clean sheet.
6 months in the
You
Premier
you
League.
you you gather rust, don't you, on the bench? You
Yeah, of
know.
course, but I think it's day in, day out of training. This is what Arteta wanted to create, and that was the case when we had Emi Martinez as well, is that competition for spots, and we've seen that with Cedric coming in for the injured Tomiyasu, and right
Absolutely.
now, I think Tomiyasu is not an automatic starter
He's
anymore.
got to win his shirt back. Absolutely.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. And that's what it should be. Because remember, when we lost the first three games, Ramsdale comes in and does a good job and keeps his place.
Yeah.
This could be Leno's shot to earn his place back.
And nobody's mentioned it, but I think you've hit the nail on the head. There's two things that have, for me, this season different and changed, and I believe the reason for our success. We've got competition in places in the squad, as you've just touched on there,
Good
Ramsdale,
competition, I
Leno, and
think,
it's good
is.
competition. So it's not like, gosh, he's going to be on the bench, don't worry. There's good competition in the fullback areas, in the
Yep,
goalkeeping areas, in the strike areas. I mean, look, Smith Rowe comes in and puts the performance in. Could have easily been Martinelli. So in the fullback areas, in the strike areas, we've got good competition. The second area, which I've been impressed with, is the chemistry.
hmm
And well, I was going to say second. The major area that I think is that Arsenal are playing players in the position that they should be playing in. For years, we've had round pegs in square holes,
yes.
and what you're seeing in this team now is it's a set team, so you can pretty much tell what squad, what team is going to be out.
Yep.
It's players playing in their right position, so you haven't got Aubameyang on the left wing where actually should be playing through the middle. You're not accommodating players by playing people out of position. You've got players in the position that they should be, and I think
Cedric on
that's
left
key.
back, yeah.
Well, exactly, and you had Ainsley Maitland-Niles, didn't you, playing in all sorts of positions, not even
Yeah.
knowing where he should. And I think that's the consistency now that we're seeing this season is that players are playing in the position, the chemistry, which I know we're going to touch on in a few minutes anyway.
Yeah.
The chemistry is amazing, but more so squad competition, and I think that's what Arteta talked about generating when he first got the job.
Yes, yes, he did. But we'll talk about that a bit more later on and we'll break it down. But just getting back to the actual game, obviously we didn't catch the game and I saw the extended highlights as well. Just take me through the mentality of the squad. Do you think this win puts Arsenal at that pole position to get top four? Not because they're easy fixtures, let's get it straight. There are some very, very hard fixtures coming up, starting with the next one, Crystal Palace,
Mm,
right?
mm,
Does this team now have that self belief to say we can beat anyone? Because going back, let's say over the last 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 years, it's been the case where we go away to a team like Crystal Palace, and Arsenal have worked their balls off and barely, barely managed to get a draw,
yeah,
or we've completely been blown out the park because Arsenal had dropped the what you call standards so down low that we were
yeah.
competing mid-table and we were actually being pushed apart. So you couldn't go away to Crystal Palace and say Arsenal can win. But now, do you think that's changed? And when we go away to Crystal Palace on the next game, do you think there's a chance that it's a tough game, by the way, Crystal Palace, and
Well, they are kind of one of our bogey teams, aren't they, Palace?
they are bogey, and bloody hell, they've been coached by Patrick Vieira,
Yeah,
so he definitely wants to get that win, right?
yeah,
And he's done a very, very good job. They just smashed Everton 4-0
yeah,
in the FA Cup, what you call quarterfinals. They've got a good young squad, which what you call Vieira and the sporting director have turned over. I think they had one of the oldest squads under Roy Hodgson, and now
mm.
they've completely
They've got
reduced
a
the age.
thriving team. Yeah,
Yeah, very good team. I think over the next couple of years they'll be one to watch. Vieira's doing a very good job, and
he is.
that City draw just emphasizes it. Yes, they rode their luck. Everyone has to, right, against a
Yeah.
team like City, but it was a good performance, and I think it will be a test for Arsenal's current team to see if they can go away and actually win at a team. Villa play more open football, and the way they play, they're going to be, going for it, gung ho. That's what Gerrard's style is. But for the
But they
very
did.
small
But they
amount,
did. I think they had one shot on target in the game against Villa. Villa had one shot on target in the whole game, and it was that free kick at the end.
yeah, but
So,
no,
so they were having an off day. I think
they
it's
were
fair
they
to
were
say.
having off day. I think it's because Gerard likes to play in a more exciting style, right? Uh, so I do get it. They had one shot on target. That's fine, but the game wasn't of very many shots either. Right,
Yeah.
Arsenal had 10 shots, but only three of them were on target, for example, and one of which is a goal. So it wasn't the game of high shots that we've seen of recent from Arsenal as well.
No.
But just going back, Villa are a tough team to beat, but for me, they're a bit more open or easier to score against. Crystal Palace at the back are a lot more solid for me, and they've got tricky wide forwards as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So I think it's going to be a very, very tough game for Arsenal. And to be fair, I'm afraid that Arsenal may actually just come out with a draw at best.
Look, we keep on saying, don't we? But this team keeps on surprising us and keeps on proving us wrong. And he was criticised because every pundit is now all going, "This is Arsenal's for the taking, and top four is now secured or it's theirs."
Yeah, yeah.
Martin Keown was criticised for this on the BT Sports panel after because Martin Keown says, "Look, this is Arsenal at the end of the day. Anything
Hmm.
can happen.
Yep.
Spurs' fixture list is certainly easier than our run in. Let's be humble and just keep the ears to the ground and let's take this game by game."
Yep.
And I have to say to you, Zed, I'm in agreement with that. Nothing
Hmm.
is done. This is a very, very difficult league where anything can happen. We have a level of unpredictability in us. We've seen when our discipline is lost. We can absolutely throw points down the drain. I'm thinking about Man City at this moment in time,
Yeah.
you know. However, we have a team that are playing for the manager and just keep responding. We were having these conversations before Leicester away,
Yeah.
and I think Leicester away on paper at least is more of a difficult fixture. Don't look at recent form because I think
No, not
it's
recently,
it's
but yeah,
it's
I do
fair
get
to
what you
say
mean.
on paper Leicester are probably a much more Leicester away a much more difficult fixture than that. But we did the job and we did it very
Mhm.
convincingly. So I think this team has a mixture of being able to now grind out results, right? And I'm not talking about 1-0 and sit back, which is what we were doing in the earlier stages of the season and it was costing us,
Yeah.
but actually being able to manage games at the same time as attacking at the other end.
Mhm.
So yes, look, I don't want to make a prediction, and I think it's probably fair we should be predicting nearer the time. But I think there's an international break in between now and then.
Yeah.
Most of our players should come back fresh. Hopefully, God willing, no injuries to anybody. Certainly not injury to my guy Saka because he's being kicked all over the park by bloody Aston Villa players who were taking it in turns to swipe him. But I do think my conscience is now telling me, don't doubt these boys. We can
Yeah.
go to Palace and get a result.
Okay.
And
Well done.
and if you want to get top four,
Yeah.
those are certainly the games that you shouldn't be losing.
No, no. You have to win those games. Those are must-win games. You should be going around. These are the teams that you have to beat to be in the top four, to be able to show that you have the quality to be in that Champions League, because that's what Champions League means at the end of the day. Is the quality is the best of the best, right?
Yeah,
From across Europe. So you have to be able to go away to a tough team like Crystal Palace and get all 3 points. And you know what? I am all for that. I think I do get where you're coming from, but that nervousness that I have, exactly as Martin Keown says, is it is still Arsenal at the end of the day. We've
yeah,
been treated to that misplaced trust a lot over the long time. But I think that's the situation with every single football fan, unless you're a City fan, right?
exactly.
Yeah,
It's not like any of these results are even flukes as well. They're actually games that are being well managed, you
yeah.
know. Look, yes, it wasn't a high scoring or a high on shot target game, but to restrict Aston Villa away to one shot on target in the whole game, that defense is doing something right, Zed.
Well, yeah, and exactly. And as when you say Saka shouldn't be injured, I hope Ben White isn't injured. He's
Yeah.
as important, I think, for Arsenal and the partnership that he's forming with Gabriel, who's, by the way, pulled out from the Brazil squad now
Why is that?
because he's about to have a kid. So
Oh yeah, she's
congratulations to
9 months,
Gabriel.
isn't she? Yeah, she's 9 months.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so congratulations to him.
Yeah.
But
It's a good time actually because it doesn't affect any of our games, does it?
no,
Hopefully.
no. But to be fair, games are coming and going. That's a once in a lifetime thing that he should be there for, right?
Yeah.
So I think the team, I agree, is together, but I know you want to talk about the Tyron Minks challenge, which was one of the important
Yeah,
parts
I
of the
do.
game. But go on, let's get your point on that
Zed,
one.
simple for me. It was a red card. I know you may not agree with me, but I think if he catches Saka and if he's a little bit higher,
Yeah.
right, it's a potential bone breaker. That is, you know,
Hmm.
he's coming from distance. His feet are off the ground. It was horrible, and it wasn't even just Tyrone Mings' challenge. To be honest with you, they were taking it in turns, the Villa players, to kick him down, and to the fact that he had to actually speak to the referee at half time and say, look, ref, this is the way I play. I run at players, and um, I keep getting hacked down, and I need more protection. And I'm absolutely with him. The kid is going to get injured
Hmm.
severely if it doesn't stop. And Aston Villa are not the only team; they're not exclusive to do that. Screw you even more for losing because of you doing that to us, to him. But play the game fair. The guy is
Yeah.
class.
Yeah. No, I get that, but I think it's the thing with all of the tricky players. So it'll be the same thing with someone like Zaha, who gets, who was, I think, a couple of seasons ago, I was seeing the stat where he was the most fouled player in the Premier League because, the way he runs up players, because he's going to do the take ons. Pepe is the same. He's quite fouled when he is playing. Um, Other tricky wingers and players like Sterling and all of them, we accuse them of diving, and let's not get it wrong, they do dive, but they know it's coming.
Yeah,
That's why they dive, because they're so used to these challenges from centre backs and midfielders who's going to try to bruise them up, because that's what the game is. So
yeah,
I understand, but going back to that tackle with Tyron Mings, I think whether he does it intentionally or not intentionally, I don't think it's a red card because he doesn't go double footed like Granit Xhaka does. And to be fair to him, his follow through is clean. So
yeah,
it's not taking. If his follow through isn't clean, I say red card straight away, right? If his foot is any higher, it's a red card.
yeah,
But he gets lucky, or he actually means it. I don't know, but it's not a red card based on the challenge it was. It definitely was a yellow though.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
but it wasn't red for me.
It was a nail on yellow, but
Yeah,
it was a kind of shade of red in there for me. But
yeah,
the other thing I want to say is just finally on the Villa game is that I did notice that Partey and Chaka ended on a yellow card as well. So Arsenal of old, very recent old, I must say, that could have gone differently. But the fact
yeah.
that they kept their discipline, and I did see there were moments where, because it was quite a prickly game actually,
It was.
for
It was.
discipline. There were moments, Zed, where there were. I mean, Laka actually got pushed over by, I can't remember who, one of the Villa players, after I think it was a Saka challenge actually. Very easy to
Hmm.
lose your cool and cards displayed. But I
Yeah.
think the fact that this is what I'm trying to say is that the boys are responding clearly. Arteta's had a word, and the gaffer said, "Look, guys, this is costing us points now.
Yeah. Keep your head. Keep your head.
Keep your head and look at the prize.
Hmm.
Look at the prize at the end of the day and at the end of the league. And clearly these boys there's something happening here."
Yeah. No, I agree with you. I think there is a project, there is a process in place that's working now. So well done to the boys. And you know what? Let's let's get it right. The celebrations were well deserved. That one
Oh
nil to
my
the Arsenal
God.
was well deserved. I know you have a bone to pick with those, but
It's again. It's only us at the moment. Look, I'll tell you something, Zed.
yeah.
They're pissed off. The world is pissed off that Arsenal are on the up, and I have to say this, and I hope people clip this and viral it over the internet. Is that what's going on with Arsenal at the moment is triggering mans. People are getting triggered by Arsenal on the up because they don't expect Arsenal to go away and win at Villa. They don't expect Arsenal to go toe to toe with City and just about lose. They don't expect Arsenal to go and do the double over Wolves and Villa, right?
Hmm.
And so when our boys are celebrating, Zed, fair bloody play. They should be, because these are the moments that football fans and the football teams remember and rejoice. Celebration is what do you expect them to just jump on
Shake the hands.
antidepressants? No, no, I mean like go the complete opposite and go off the pitch gloomy, right? Absolutely. And you know something? It brings me no pleasure more than to see ex Villa people like Gabi Lahore talk about Arsenal celebration as if they won the league. Absolutely, right? You guys got done. You got finished off. And I tell you something, if we celebrate like that at every game, at the end of every game, come the end of the season, then it's still not enough, because I'd love to see the look on your face, you know? And the same goes for that. I mean, how old is he? 90-year-old Ashley Young, right? Are you celebration police or something? Because you ain't no footballer, right? Saka done you over. You got finished, my friend. You need to retire. Go back to Manchester United as a coach, because they definitely need some help.
No, that's a good way to put it, and I couldn't agree more. I think, look, these young players, and they know what every win means. Every win puts them closer to the Champions League, which all of these talented footballers deserve to play. Right? Let's get it right. Right? They're very. It's a very talented group of players. Um, that deserve to play in the Champions League, and the way they're playing, they're on their way. And we should not be faulting them. Yes, they know what's riding on it, and every single 3 points matter. So when they celebrate like this, I don't
Yes.
care if people say, "Oh, it's not good for Arsenal because Arsenal have standards and they should be celebrating with them." Mate, we've been down at the bottom
Oh my
for a
God.
long time,
For
right?
years.
For years, right? We've seen rubbish pile up in the club for years. We've had players take the absolute piss. We've had, you know, a strategy for recruitment that's been absolutely piss and based on who knows everybody. Hey, you know someone, right? We'll get a player in. Been stupid. So when we're finally getting stuff right, when we can finally see a project, right? I want these group of players to celebrate. We've seen the togetherness. We've seen how good they are, and the team playing for the manager, right? It's a sense of family finally coming to the club, back to the club. There's no what you call passengers anymore. There's no people who are just picking up the paycheck anymore, right? They're playing day in day out for the shirt, for the badge, and I want to see them celebrate, as you say. As fans, that makes me happy because if they feel the joy of winning, we feel the joy.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I
Yeah.
and I have to big up Sky Sports presenter and Arsenal fan Laura Woods. She's got a little show feature on Talk Sport radio station, and she absolutely ripped Abgon Lahore to shreds. I believe it was this morning or yesterday. I think it might have been yesterday, and she absolutely shred him to pieces because you need to listen to it, Zed. There's a clip going around of him some
Yeah.
years ago when he was basically, or some time ago when he was basically um, punditing on Liverpool, and he said that's
Mhm.
exactly what the fans need to see. The fans need to see celebration, and absolutely love it. And the way she clipped him, she's finished his career. Said she's finished Gabby Lahore's career because she goes, well, don't take my word for it. Take Gabby Ablon Lahore's word for it, and she just clips him. And he's going, oh, look,
Oh,
absolutely love it. They should, absolutely celebrating it, and that's what football's about, the passion. And oh, she smashed him to pieces. That guy should not be
that's
allowed back on the Sky Sports again. Just your career's ended, my
well,
friend. Go home,
um,
finish. You
yeah,
weren't any
that
good anyway.
I have to see that one. I have to see that one. That sounds absolutely
She
fantastic.
finished him. She's living rent free in his head. She's ended him.
So that's beautiful, man. I have to see that. In fact, after we finish recording this, I am going to
Definitely,
see
I'll
that.
send it over. Yeah.
But yeah, man. Okay, final point, mate. So just to paint a picture for you right now, Arsenal played 28 games, same as
Yes.
Chelsea,
Yeah.
and they are at 59 points and we are at 54 points. At the start of the season, if someone told you that we would be points behind Chelsea with the same number of game played, would you have taken it?
Absolutely chopped your hand off.
Based on that, do you think, regardless of whether we get Champions League or not Champions League, do you think Arsenal will get Europe, so Europa League at the minimum?
Yeah, they will. They get Europe. Yeah.
Well, you're putting your hat in the ring to say
Oh,
Arsenal will be
100.
back in European
It's
competition.
yeah. It's I don't. I mean, I know it's mathematically still impossible, but barring a big, massive collapse between now and the end of the season, I can't see us. I mean, don't forget Europe includes that shitty Conference League as well, doesn't
Well,
it?
hold on, sorry, hold
Yeah.
on. I
Yeah.
don't count that as Europe.
Okay. Right. Well.
That's why I stopped at Europa League.
Yeah. 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 Well. Yeah. I think it's very, 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 very possible that Arsenal will finish in Europe.
Okay, so final question then: if Arsenal, let's assume they finish fifth,
Yeah.
does that reflect progress from your point of view? Yes or no? Based on the money we've spent, based on the squad we
Yes,
have.
it does. It does. And I mean, it's again, we could deliver a pod on this whole issue in itself.
Yeah.
Because we're seeing performances, because we're seeing consistency, because we're seeing the players playing for the manager. That's all we've wanted to see from this football club, right?
Hmm.
Um, you know, some may say ahead of schedule. I'm saying actually, with the money that we've spent and with the time he's been manager and the size of the club, we kind of should be knocking on the door for top four. We should be,
Hmm. Yeah.
because of the fact that he is a learning manager. It has taken that little bit longer.
Yeah.
However, it would be criminal now, right? It would be criminal now to start again and start this all over again, especially when the writings are on the wall and there's every possibility that Arsenal could finish for the Champions League
Hmm.
positions. Um, it absolutely is progress, and anybody who tells you otherwise, Arsenal fan or not, doesn't know ball.
Fair play. Yeah, I agree with you. I think Europa League is a minimum, and the position that we're in. So looking at next couple of games, we've got Crystal Palace, Brighton, Southampton. Three games that Arsenal should be going for, at least trying to go for maximum points, and then you got a
What
couple
are
of
you
difficult.
saying points for that one for those 3 games?
Okay, so if I'm being honest, Crystal Palace away, I'm going to say a draw.
Okay,
Brighton at home, I'm going to say win.
yeah.
Southampton away, I'm going to say win.
Brighton is away, if I remember correctly.
No,
We drew
Brighton's.
to them at home.
Did we? Well,
Mm,
according to what I have, it's 9th of April, and it seems like Arsenal are home.
okay, maybe I'm wrong.
That's from the Premier
So
League. But
did we play them away already then? And I've mixed them
yeah,
up.
I think
Yeah,
yeah we may have played them away. So we've
yeah.
got. So for me, I think we've got 7 points from possible nine, which I would say is very good
So
value.
who was the third game? Sorry, did you say
Southampton away.
away? That's the
Yeah.
what I was getting mixed up.
I think the way Southampton play right now and the way Arsenal play, I think we should be able to get a win. That one I'm more confident about. Same with Brighton because of the way Graham Potter likes to play. I'm more confident with those two games. Crystal
Yeah,
Palace just it's been a bogey team for us. So for me, 7 points over the next three games. What do you say?
I'd be exactly the same. I think 7 points is what's needed, and I think dropping points against Palace away is it's respectable still because it's
Yes.
not losing, it's keeping us in the hunt. Um, Look, we have to look at what we're doing ourselves, and we have to try and get as many points on the board.
Yeah.
But we also know that between now and the end of the season, the teams around us will drop points. You look at West Ham
Mm.
still in Europe. Good win for them, by the way, the other night.
Yes.
Was
Very
I was
good. Very
pleased
good.
for them. They're a good team.
They're doing very
I've
good.
got
Yeah.
no problem with West Ham until they play us. So yeah, and you've got Tottenham that are a little bit consistent, inconsistent.
Uh,
It's
Yo-yo. They are.
yeah, I think, and I think what we need to do is target 3 points at their place.
Hmm. I think that possibly, as I said to you when I met in person, I think it may come down to the last game of the season for me, and it may be the North London derby at the Tottenham Hotspur
I think,
Stadium.
well, that's why there's not an announcement of a fixture yet. I think what they're doing
Exactly.
is they're cooking a plan, seeing how things go between the teams, and say, right, what we'll do is we'll put that fixture at that point, maybe the last game of the season, as you say, and
Yep.
what we'll do is we will make that the crunch top four winning position cup final, and
Basically,
I
yep.
hope that we don't give the Premier League what they want and secure this way before then.
You know what? I would absolutely love it that we go away, we secured, and
Because that
still
would
smash
really
them to
fall in our
bits.
favours, Ed, wouldn't it? If you think about it,
Absolutely.
if we've mathematically secured it by them, do you know something? We go there and we play with the freedom. We have no pressure upon us. We beat them at their backyard and we say, F you guys, you shit.
Absolutely, man. That's where it'll be it. Okay, man. Listen, I'm gonna wrap this up then. It's been absolutely wonderful recording with you once again. It's been a great episode. I hope everyone who listens to it enjoys it. I hope everyone who listens to it is safe. We'll catch up with you all next time. But just before we sign off, you can follow us on Twitter. You can follow me at Z_TAGP. Harry, you want to plug yours?
Yeah, I'm at Harry Kanu, and Kanu is spelled Khanu. I've actually got it right because it's on
Got
the
it
screen
right for
in
the
front
first
of me.
time.
It's on the screen in front of me, so I had to get it right. Yeah. Thank you guys for listening. Really appreciate all of the support you're giving us. Keep on sharing, keep on liking, and we'll see you on the next one.
We'll see you on the next one. But as I say, before I sign off, if anyone is interested, reach out and we'll get you on the All Gunners podcast. Take care.